If you walk down any street in Lagos or Abuja, you see them. I'm talking about pure water sachets everywhere. We want a cleaner Nigeria, but most of us really do not know that the waste in our hands is actually wealth in disguise. I've been in the sustainability space for over 5 years now, and I've seen how much we throw away simply because we don't read the secret code on the packaging. Today, I'm going to show you how to identify what is actually recyclable, as not all plastics are really recyclable. And I know most persons don't know this. From the sachet water to your favorite beverage thing, let's turn that waste into value. And that's the essence of this video. I will walk us through the most recyclable plastics to the medium ones and then to the ones that are really non-recyclable. We get to understand how plastics actually work within the recycling space, especially in Nigeria. The big three that are very much recyclable in Nigeria, the recycling industry is powered by three main types of plastics. When you flip your bottle, what you need to look for, you look out for the Mobius Loop. I'm going to put the icon on this video so you get to see that. The Mobius Loop is what you look out for. And when you find that Mobius Loop, it means it's recyclable. But then there is a twist to it. The Mobius Loop is not just enough to say that this is a recyclable plastic. You need to pay attention to the number in the Mobius Loop. So when you find the number 1, we're referring to PET bottles. And this is the king of the streets. We find it everywhere. Your PET bottles from the Coke, the Pepsi, the Biggie, all of those, even your bottled water, they are all PET. And these are highly recyclable. Don't throw the cap away for PETs. While the bottle is the PET, the cap is a different plastic, but then it's very much recyclable. So recyclers want both, but the PET and the cap. So both of them are completely recyclable and you need to keep them for recycling. Then the number 2, when you see the number 2 in the Mobius Loop, in that plastic bottle or plastic material, then you're talking about HDPE. And think of your heavy plastics, your custard buckets, the 5-liter kegs of vegetable oil, and those thick shampoo or detergent bottles, right? Like Hypo and Viva. These are high value materials. It's HDPE because it's high density. So they are usually much thicker plastics. So these ones are completely also recyclable. And remember, the number 2 should be on the Mobius Loop. When you see that symbol, we're referring to HDPE. Then the number 3 is PP, and that's polypropylene. Then for that, the PP, you need to see the number 5 at the center of the Mobius Loop. And when you look at PPs, you're talking about your takeaway packs, right? Those you use for those white and clear plastic containers you use for parties, you get in restaurants for packaging. They are 100% recyclable. You need to stop throwing them into landfills or just throwing them into your organic waste bin or general waste because they are completely recyclable. The general rule for recyclable materials that I just mentioned is the fact that you need to keep them clean. Dirt and contamination like oil, it's not friendly for recycling. So they make recycling really difficult. It means you need to wash them clean if maybe there's an oil stain or any type of stain whatsoever within found in this bottle. That means after taking your Coca-Cola, for instance, you need to wash it clean, rinse with water, and then keep it aside for recycling. And that's how you categorize all of these 3 major recycling ones. I had to go talk about these 3 first because most recyclers or most recycling companies in Nigeria will recycle these 3 items easily. Then the one I'm going to talk about, another recyclable material, is the LDPE. Remember, we talked about HDPE, and HDPE talks about high density. LDPE looks at low density. So it means it's majorly the pure water sachets, right? We find this one majorly everywhere because even from statistics, as at I believe 2020, between 2022 2023, up to 60 million sachets of water is distributed daily. So it tells you how much of sachet water is available to everyone daily, and most times people just dispose these pure water sachets, right? And that's majorly the main material we find in our landfills that gets into rivers and oceans, causing huge pollution. So it's important that we know that pure water sachets are recyclable. So when you look at pure water sachet nylon, as well as the clear shopping bags that you get in the supermarket or the market, they are completely recyclable. If you see also the wrap or the nylon, the clear bag, in which bottled water is packed, that as well is completely recyclable. So these are low density. So a lot of people actually think these aren't recyclable, but they are. However, there is a catch to it. Because they are soft and stretchy, they shouldn't be mixed with your hard bottles. So they shouldn't be mixed with the three we mentioned earlier, talking about PET, HDPE, and PP. And at companies like Chanjadati, we actually do collect these separately. And how you know this, like the rule of thumb or the thumb test, is if you can poke your thumb through it and it stretches instead of snapping, then it's LDPE. They are usually very lightweight. It's clear. The example, pure water sachets and clear bags. Okay, so you bundle your pure water sachets together and don't let them fly away into the gutter. Stop littering the environment with them, because it's the most common that people just take easily and dispose or trash just anywhere. This wouldn't be helpful in any way. Then, beyond plastics, metals, glasses, and paper are also recyclable. So, sustainability isn't just about plastic. So, look at what else is in your kitchen, for instance, or your households, like metals, talking about aluminium and steel. I believe the number for aluminium is 41. Steel, you'll see that Mobius Loop, or you could see the abbreviation ALU. Aluminium and steel, they are completely recyclable. Your malt cans and peak milk tins, these are recyclable. And whether it's an aluminium beverage can or a steel tomato paste tin, this can be melted down and reused forever. Just give them a quick rinse, so they don't smell, and they make the recycling process easier. Then glass, your soft drink bottles, the returnable ones, are already part of a great system. But for one-way glass like the wine bottles, they are 100% recyclable. And glasses are so unique that it can be recycled over and over without losing its quality. They even have higher recycling quality or capacity than plastic. So glasses are completely recyclable. So keep your glasses and send them to the closest recycling hub or facility close to you. Then papers and cardboards, your Indomie boxes or Amazon or Jumia delivery packs. These are great, but listen closely. If oil or stew has soaked into the cardboard, that part is no longer recyclable. So cut off the clean parts and recycle those. Put them in the paper where you separate them. So you need to separate all of these materials, separating the plastics from the paper to the glass. They need to be separated and sent to a recycling hub for further recycling. Then the non-recyclable plastics, because we've addressed recyclable plastics. So now let's look at the plastics that are not recyclable. Why are we trying to look at them? So that you can know about them and also try and do your possible best to reduce your use of single-use plastics. that generally or most times we refer to them as single-use plastics. It means these plastics are mostly used once and not to be used again. And I'm going to use general examples that we know. I think the first one I will mention is PVC. PVC carries the number 3 in the Mobius loop that I explained earlier. So when you see PVC, polyvinyl chloride, these are electrical conduit pipes, either black or orange ones, used in building construction. Right, we see them, they use it for electricals or sometimes, or rather most times, for plumbing. Right, so why is it not? The problem with PVC not being able to be recycled is that it's often called the poison plastic because it contains chlorine and other toxins that can contaminate an entire batch of healthy recycling. So it makes it really difficult. Most local collectors in Nigeria will not touch it. Okay, so PVC is not recyclable, so you don't add that to materials you're keeping for your local recycler. The number 6, when you look at the number 6 in the Mobius triangle or Mobius loop, you're going to see polystyrene. And polystyrene is very, very common. A common example is styrofoam. So when you think about the white, crunchy takeaway packs used in either your mama put or for small chops in weddings, and that's what we're talking about. It also includes the clear or the Bristol disposable cups used for soft drinks at parties. Both the red cup, the clear cup, those are single-use plastics. They are not recyclable. Very difficult to recycle. I think one of the major problems about these materials is that they are 90% air. And because it's so light, it's not profitable for companies to transport. Okay, I think I would make another video talking about some of the challenges, or maybe how peculiar or the nature of recycling, what makes it really tough and difficult for recycling companies. And it's usually around transport and logistics. So because of the nature of these plastics, they are very difficult to recycle. So they are referred to as single-use plastics. And what you do with single-use plastics is the fact that you reduce your use of them as much as you can. Okay, so you try your possible best to reuse plastics that are recyclable, while reducing your use or rejecting or not using those single-use plastics at all. There is a phase-out ban ongoing in Nigeria, not yet fully implemented, but that conversation is still ongoing, and hopefully that brings about a clear plan or a proper plan on how to phase out single-use plastics. It's already been implemented in some countries, even in Africa, and they are really doing well about that. Then there's still other aspects or non-recyclable plastics that are very important, and that's the multi-layer wrappers. We call them the multilaminates, and these are usually like biscuits or sweet wraps, usually for packing, maybe candy. And majorly the challenge with them is the fact that outside they have plastics, but when you open inside, you're going to find a thin film of metal, a thin film of aluminum, inside it. And because those two materials are fused together, it becomes really very difficult to recycle, right? So that's another aspect, or those types of materials are not recyclable or difficult to recycle. However, there are case studies or situations where companies or recyclers are able to recycle that by turning them into furniture, like furniture boards for chairs and tables, which are really great, but only few recyclers are able to achieve that for now. So it's really not very recyclable. And then even without a number, some materials are really not collected. I would mention some of them that we see around us. The black nylon bag, white technically plastic, the black pigment makes them very low value, right? So most recyclers prefer the clear or pure water white nylons, not the black ones, so that you don't mix up the black ones when you're keeping aside the pure water sachets and the clear bags. So another one is the dirty takeaway pack, that even if it has the number 5, which is PP on it, it's still If it's still soaked in palm oil or stew, it's a no. Contamination ruins the recycling process. So we try as much as possible to clean them up. If there's oil, if there's stew stains, it should be washed and rinsed properly before being sent for recycling. Then disposable straws and cutleries, these are single-use plastics, should be reduced or avoided completely or totally. Then these are the things, and I hope this video helps you to understand some of these process and how it works. And if you have any questions, you can ask. I know we've talked about these major recyclable materials: PET, HDPE, PP, LDPE. So which of these do you find most in your home or in your house? Is it the pure water sachets or the PET bottles? So tell me in the comments. If you're in Abuja or Lagos, I can also point you to the nearest collection center. Gabriel Onyebolisa, let's build a sustainable Nigeria one bottle at a time. See you in the next video.